welcome everyone. Recording in progress. Welcome everyone. I'm glad you could join us tonight. And we were trying to make this class a very comfort food class, which I feel we all need it. The last month was not easy. I'm sure for everyone. I dedicate my life basically to eating, not so much cooking in the last 4 weeks. So it's nice to actually do something. And the first dish, the main dish that we're going to do is, it's called in Hebrew, Hamin macaroni. Hamin, it comes from the word ham in Hebrew, which is hot. So it's like hot dish, warm dish. And Hamin is part of the Cholent family. It's part of the overnight Shabbat dishes that we can find all over the Jewish diaspora. So I think the most famous one is Cholent. It's the Ashkenazi one with, with the kishke and beans, potatoes, meat cooked overnight until it's so caramelized and just wonderful. And that's what's similar between, that's the main thing that's similar between all the dishes. They all caramelize from the sugar in the ingredients, from actual sugar or honey that you put inside, sometimes from dried fruit. And they always become, just the time in the oven at very low temperature just does wonders to any dish. And this specific dish, it comes from Jerusalem, and it's made of noodles, macaroni. I think it's called bucatini here. It's basically like the thicker spaghetti. And it has chicken with the skin and bones, and so the cooked macaroni absorbs all the fat and the juices and the flavor from the chicken, and it's just unbelievable. So I want to start immediately. We're going to move to the stove so I can start cooking the macaroni, and we can talk more. And of course you can ask questions by writing them, and Shannon will not hesitate to interrupt me and ask. So I feel like I need to explain that my husband is behind the camera here, so the phone doesn't just move on its own, it moves, my husband makes it work.
I was going to ask if we can get one of those for ourselves, if you can get one on Amazon, but I guess you can't really order a Natan on Amazon.
You cannot order Natan on Amazon, and Natan is, by the way, a TV journalist. He works for the Israeli public television and radio, so I have a professional here. Okay, so I have boiling water. I'm basically cooking pasta. Where is the salt? Okay, salt in the pasta. And this is the pasta I'm using. Bucatini number 15. It's pretty thick. And I don't know why it's not very popular. It's the one with the hole in the center. It's very popular in Israel, and I don't know why it's relatively difficult to find it here. But it's possible.
What, Vera, you couldn't find a bigger pot to cook your pasta?
I don't want to. No, because, okay, I need to say something. That's a good question, but I have the biggest pot in the oven already with a pre-made Hamin macaroni, so you can see what it looks like after a full day in the oven. Can I get the timer, please? So is that okay?
I mean, I guess so. You're the expert.
Yes. Okay, so the pasta needs to cook for 9 to 11 minutes. I put a timer on 9, and we're gonna turn the Dutch oven on. Oh, I feel like you need an introduction. Snoopy, this is Snoopy. I don't know if yes, Snoopy, no food for you. You can just go somewhere. You're not gonna get anything. He knows I'm lying. He knows he's gonna get food, so he's gonna probably stay. So, okay. I'm gonna put this aside somehow. As this is cooking, I already turned on the heat on this heavy bottom pot. So as it heats up, let's I want to put some salt and pepper on the chicken that I have. So this way we can then sear it. So where is the chicken? It's here. I'm sorry. Okay. Let's move here for a second. Sorry. I should have done it earlier. So just, be generous with the salt and pepper on the chicken and do it on both sides. Salt, pepper. Let me put gloves in this case so I can massage the chicken. So I know that the salt and pepper are really
Vered, one question that came
Yeah.
up is if you can't find bucatini, what type of pasta would you recommend instead of bucatini?
Okay, wait. I remember writing that it can be, thick spaghetti is another name for something similar. If you can't find any, I assume you will find. Like, just try to find the thickest.
So the thickest type of
noodles.
spaghetti you can find.
Yes, exactly. Okay, massage it a little bit, and we're done. Okay, let's move back here. What did you say? Okay. A little bit of olive oil or any oil. Because the truth is, many of the dishes, the traditional dishes that you find in Israel, dishes that come from, definitely if they come from Europe, but also even if they come from the Middle East, people did not used to use olive oil so much, which is interesting, but nevertheless true. It's actually, olive oil came back to Israel from the back door, kind of, through the Italian cuisine. Like, Italian cuisine became very popular, and then we all heard of how you use olive oil to make the dish authentic and taste good, and then then we started using olive oil for everything. But before that, people used to use mainly corn oil or safflower oil, just regular bland oil.
Hey, Vered, your sound is like a little muffled.
Yeah. Is this better?
Oh, it is better. It might just have been over the
It is, yes, yeah. I guess so. I'll stand here for now. It's fine. We want to give the chicken a few minutes, anyways, to brown nicely, especially on the skin side. Then we'll flip them. We'll do that again. We'll brown them on the meat side again, and we'll continue from there. In the meantime, so the way this dish works, it's not necessary, but it's nice to have sliced potatoes at the bottom. It kind of protects the macaroni from getting crispy. So you put a layer of potatoes, then the sliced potatoes, then the macaroni, then the chicken and some eggs, hard-boiled eggs, and then more macaroni at the top, and that's how you bake it overnight. So I'm just going to slice the potatoes to thick slices. And I'm going to use them later at the bottom of the, at the bottom of the pan. So the roots of the dish of Hamin macaroni, first of all, the word Hamin was used in the Talmud. So it's an ancient name for a dish, and it was used then in Sephardi and Mizrahi communities around the world. Not in Europe where we use the word chulant, but Hamin is a general name for many of the dishes that come from Mizrahi and Sephardi communities. This dish, we know that it was developed or got popular in Jerusalem. I didn't find any signs that it was ever like that it was prepared before Jerusalem in any other place. But it's unclear where it really came from because some communities say the Libyans say that it belongs to them. It makes sense in a way because macaroni, because Italians ruled colonized Libya, and so maybe that makes sense that they would use pasta.
Hey, Vered,
Yes, yes,
I'm so sorry. The sound is still a little bit muffled. Do you want to try and adjust your AirPods to make it a
sure.
little clearer?
Because the sound is muffled. And I actually can't really hear well also. I'm not sure what to do.
Do you want to try it without the AirPods?
Maybe without the AirPods. Let's try. Can you
Put 'em in-
disconnect them?
That actually got better.
It got better now?
Is it-
Yeah, can you hear me better now?
Yeah,
Can
I
you
think
hear me
so.
better?
If
Yeah, okay.
if it's muffled again, I'm going to tell you, and I'm just put them in your case and put them away.
Okay, sure. Okay. So let's move back in here. But you need to remind me that I didn't finish the story of the original. So it's becoming nicely golden brown, golden, let's say. Okay, let's do that. You can make it. You can wait even longer and wait until the chicken is even darker. But this is fine. I mean, just as a reminder, it's still going to go back. Wait, it's still going to go back to the oven for either overnight or at least for like 6 hours. So it's gonna be fully cooked, that's for sure.
Jared, I think you should take the AirPods out.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Talk a little bit more. No, let's try to put the AirPods back. It's I can't hear you well at all. Let's try to put the AirPods back in.
לא שומעים כלום?
אני לא שומע משהו?
No.
אתה יכול לחזור אליו. אוקיי.
Just 1 second.
מה את רוצה? לא, היא ביקשה שזה יביא אוזן. וואו. יש אוזניות אחרות?
Whatever you're doing now, I can hear you a little bit better. No, not sound. There's no sound at all now. Sorry, everybody. We'll get it sorted out in just 1 second. It'll be worth it. Thanks for your patience. Where did Snoopy go? We should get him back here. When we filmed, Snoopy was kind of in the other room so that he, I need to unmute you. Oh, again? Oh, I see. Thank you, Vered. Sorry, I didn't understand. I'm going to teach the class now. Oh, now I can't, why can I not unmute you? Give me 1 second. So sorry, everybody. Oh, jeez. All right, Vered, it should be giving you, all right.
Yes, it's okay.
Sorry. Oh, that's so much better.
Okay, let's hope it's okay. We need to strain the pasta. Okay. Take the good before and put it back in the pot and going back. Okay. In the meantime, the chicken is ready. The first step of the chicken is ready. And so I'm taking all the chicken out like that. And I'm going to cook onion now for a few minutes, just until it's kind of golden. Again, the whole dish is going to cook for a long time. So everything will be fully cooked at the end for sure. Okay. Let it cook for a little bit and I'll move here because hopefully you hear better in here. Hopefully okay. Okay, so as I said, Libyan Jews feel like the dish comes from their community, Hamin macaroni. The Urfali Jews, that's a very specific community that comes from the city of Urfa in southern Turkey. They think, they say the dish is theirs. One of Israel's top chefs, Chaim Cohen, who is just wonderful. He's a wonderful person. He, by the way, like so many other Israeli chefs in the last 4 weeks, is dedicating his time to cooking for the soldiers. The Israeli soldiers are eating so well. It's like a joke. And they're very specific. Like I just saw a note on Facebook in a Yemenite cooking group saying that, a relative of someone, and a Yemenite Jewish officer, they said is for 4 weeks, he was not at home. He really needs his jafnun this weekend. Who can make it for him? So very spoiled soldiers we have. Anyway, Chaim Cohen is an Urfali Jew, a Jew from Urfa. That's a big community in Jerusalem. Most of them arrived to Jerusalem at the end of the 19th century, and he grew up eating this dish. So I don't know if it's just a Jerusalem thing, or it is from Urfa or Libya, but let's say just Jerusalem. Okay, let's check on our onion. Oh, okay. It seems like it's kind of browning quicker than it should. So, I can lower, in theory, I should lower the heat and cook it a little longer, but we don't want to just make you wait and look at this onion being cooked. This is tomato paste. The truth is, this dish, most of the recipes don't ask for any flavoring besides for the fat and the chicken, but I use some nutmeg Salt and pepper, of course, the tomato paste, a little bit of cinnamon, and a little bit of cardamom. Oh, okay. We're gonna cook this for a minute. It's always like anytime you add tomato paste to any dish, it's nice to cook it like this, with not with liquid, just on its own for a minute, because it brings the charred tomato flavor that is just so wonderful. Okay, I'm gonna give it a minute. And then, okay, you can bring the camera. I'm gonna add a little bit of water, and this will help me remove all the bits and fat and flavor from the bottom of the pot. And now, okay, all this goodness is going into, I turn this off, is going on top of the pasta. Yeah, okay, wait. Okay. And we're gonna mix this.
This is interesting, Vered, because in some ways, parts of this remind me of Yerushalmi kugel.
Right. But we did not, Yerushalmi kugel, first of all, will work well with the same noodles. It's never really tasty when you do it with thin noodles. Just a second, I don't want to forget, I need to add a little bit of salt, and I'll continue explaining. Some salt. Mix it again. Jerusalem kugel, we, as you can see in the 6th episode class that Shannon was talking about, we demonstrate that for Shabbat, as a dish for Shabbat. It's a very caramelized, cooked overnight noodle kugel that's caramelized, so it's sweet, but it's very, very peppery. It also comes from Jerusalem. Well, it's called Jerusalem kugel. And we cook the noodles. We usually use egg noodles, and we then make caramel, like with like a cup of sugar or something, and a lot of oil, and we mix it together. So it does remind you of that. And then it's being baked overnight. It has a lot of eggs also. So it's really like a kugel. You can slice it like a cake after that. So here the noodles will become browned and caramelized, but it's not the same flavor really, but it is similar in a way. So I'm taking now, I put a little bit of oil at the bottom here, at the bottom of the pan, just so it doesn't get stuck too much. And I'm going to just have one layer of all these potatoes at the bottom. They will become so tasty because the bottom will become very crispy and the top will be tender, and also we'll also get the flavors from the chicken and everything else. So okay, let's put some salt on top.
How thick would you say those potatoes are, Vered?
Like half an inch.
And what type of potato do you recommend for this?
The same potatoes that I use for everything basically, which is okay, I did not want to put everything, so let me just take some of it out. I want to leave some of the of the noodles out so they can cover the chicken. So let's take some of them out. The potatoes I usually use for everything are golden potatoes. Like they have the best flavor, I feel. Okay, so over the noodles, I put the chicken with the skin up. You can also use drumsticks, but it's better to have, oopsie, all the juices. It's better to have red meat and not white meat so much for this one. Because, you know, it's going to be for a long time in the oven, and so we want to make sure it stays juicy at the end and doesn't dry out. We'll put the rest of the noodles on top. I kind of want to cover the noodles. That's why I leave some, cover the chicken. That's why I leave some for the top. Now, this is a heavy Dutch oven that I trust to keep all the juices inside. So I'm not going to put aluminum foil on it. I'm just going to cover it and put it in the oven now. But if you use just a regular pot like this one, most people, grandmothers, would only use the simplest pot to make cholent or the rapid cholent. So if you use that, it's better to cover the whole thing with aluminum foil to make sure the steam stays inside. Again, if it's in the oven for many hours, you want to make sure all the juices are, all the steam is there, so nothing dries out and it comes so wonderfully.
Hey, Jared, we have
Yes.
we have a lot of question about the eggs. So the eggs that just went in there, are they already hard boiled, or those are raw eggs that will cook slowly?
They are not boiled and they're not cooked, and they will be cooked in the oven as we, you know, during the minimum of 6 hours that it's going to be in the oven. And sorry, and they will actually come out as, you know, what we call brown eggs, or haminados in Ladino, which is, you know, eggs that are cooked overnight, because Jews from communities from all over the world used to add eggs to their Shabbat overnight dishes. So haminados, or these brown eggs, are very popular, and they're so tasty. The white becomes light brown, and the yolk becomes so creamy. It's just amazing. So it's very tasty, and you don't need to cook them in advance. I mean, this whole thing will cook now for so long. Every bad thing will die, and you know, it will be fine.
One
So
more
no
question about the cooking. A number of people wanted to know if you don't want to cook this for 16 hours.
Six and to 12. I mean, 6 is the minimum. Yes.
Okay, so between 6 and 12 hours. So you could cook it. Somebody wanted to know, could you start it in the morning and then would be ready in the evening to serve?
We're actually going to check exactly that, because I have in the oven another Hamin macaroni that I made this morning at 8 a.m. Yes, I was awake at 8 a.m. It's very unusual for me.
I wasn't going to say anything.
I said it for you because I knew you were going to say something. But yes, like 10-ish is more my time.
I know. Every time I've asked you to have a meeting with me before 10 a.m.
But I made the sacrifice, and I did wake up early, and I made it this morning, and we're gonna take a look. So this this is heavy. This goes into the oven now, and this one, oopsie, will be cooked for the full night. And now let's put this one here.
I'm so sorry I can't be there to eat some of that for you.
I know, I wish you were here. Okay, so as you can see, this one I wrapped with aluminum foil under the lid. You need to make sure the foil does not touch the food. In my case, the noodles went up to maybe 2/3 of the pot. If it does touch the food, then you need to put parchment paper underneath. Okay, this is the dish. It doesn't look very attractive on this side, but once we're gonna start dig in, you're gonna see what's inside and how nice it is. Where is the, okay, wait a second. Wait. Okay. So we have the noodles at the top, we have the eggs, we have the chicken, and then we have the very, very tender, crazily tender noodles. So, okay, I'm gonna start taking out. Let's take some of the chicken. It's so soft, you know. Iraqis also make a type of chulent that has chicken, and the chicken becomes so tender, especially if you actually cook it overnight, that you can actually eat the bones. They are that tender. Okay, and now, okay, oops, look at the noodles, how thick they become. Oh my God, this is really the best part. These noodles, and let me see if I can find some potatoes here. Okay, a slice of potato. So we have the noodles. Let me try actually to, maybe Nathan can peel, or can you wash the eggs so I can, so we can show how it is? Okay, Nathan, because it's so hot, Nathan will wash the egg and then I'll be able to peel it and show you what I meant with the brown egg and creamy yolk. As I'm trying this, okay, actually I'm peeling the egg now. אני צריכה איזשהו כוס או משהו. Are there any questions?
There's actually lots of questions, so get ready.
Okay, yes.
All right. The recipe says to add 1/2 cup of boiling water before covering it all. Did you do that, or?
So what I did is, and that's why I asked you before the class if you can adjust the recipe a little bit. I decided to add the water to the pot where I was cooking the onions, if you remember.
Yeah.
So I added it directly there, so it will help to release all the goodness that got stuck to the bottom of the pan there. And that was instead of the water that I usually add later. So it doesn't matter, you can do it either way, but I added it earlier and then poured it. I used that liquid to pour it over the
So either
noodles.
after caramel, like let's watch the egg.
Yeah, let's watch the egg. Yes, you need salt. Got the egg.
Snoopy's ready for some.
Snoopy is so ready. You see, well, the egg yolk has this weird color. It's just amazing. Okay, I'm not gonna eat an egg in front of you.
So good.
It's so good with some salt
Someone
and
wants
pepper.
to know if we can substitute the tomato paste with something else.
Oh my God. Yeah,
Or would you just leave it out?
You can leave it out, yes. You can leave it out, yeah. It's, you saw, I mean, it's so little. It adds a little bit of color, a little bit of flavor. You can maybe add like a teaspoon of sugar maybe instead, or something like that, but it's no big deal. You don't have to.
Somebody wants to know if instead of using water to deglaze the pan, you could use wine.
You can use what? Wine?
Yeah.
I don't see why not. It just, it's fine. I would try it for sure. But it's very little. With wine, you will want to let it evaporate. So, so most of the alcohol goes out and you just have the flavor. So maybe add more and let it cook more.
Someone wants
But
to know if you could use harissa instead of tomato paste.
Sure, if you like spicy, yeah, why not? That's a good idea.
Could you put everything in a slow cooker after, like, instead of putting it back into a pan, could you put it in a slow cooker?
Yes, I think it will work. I don't like making cholent in the slow cooker. I think most of them, especially the new ones that are also pressure cooker and all that, they only reach like 180 Fahrenheit degrees or something like that. The slow cooker part of it function. So and for cholent we need 200 and even better 225. So it comes out very pale and not caramelized enough to my taste. But I think with this it will be fine. And if you have the old-fashioned slow cooker that's just a slow cooker and does nothing else, that's actually much better for this. And not only that,
that's what I have.
That's good. I mean, I wish I could. Maybe that's what I should buy. I got one of these fancy ones, and I just gave it to my son. It's not for me.
What temperature does it cook in the oven?
So many questions. 200. If you're doing that's for overnight. If you're doing it really just 6 or 8 hours, I would do 225. But it really up to your. It depends on your pot. It depends on your oven. I would start with 200 anyways and check it, just check it after a few hours. If it's 6 hours, check it out after 5 and see if it's too light. Just if it seems too light in color, I mean, raise it to 225 or 250 even for 1 hour. If you're doing it overnight, peek inside the pot in the neck, first thing in the morning, look at it. If it looks too, not brown enough, again, raise the temperature to 225 until noon and then you eat it. So, it's not, these slow cooked dishes are so easy to adjust and there's nothing needs to be exact, and just everything you put in the oven on slow, slow cooking in the oven on low temperature is going to come out wonderful. Even your husband's chulent.
It is good challenge. It's just that yours is so much better.
Well,
all right.
Well,
are you making anything else for us tonight, or is this it?
Yes, yeah. I mean, I would just stay here and just eat that, but okay, I'm gonna give some to Snoopy. Oh, he's a baby. Okay. And our next thing, okay, let me move this away. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is a very old-fashioned, the simplest, sweetest, one of the most beloved dishes in Israel. It comes from this book. This is my copy from the 70s. I wonder when it was first printed. It was printed in 1975. I probably got it a few years later, and I used it so many times. As you can see, the condition of it, and it's because they used it. It was the best and only children's cookbook at the time. And one of the most popular dishes were these chocolate balls. I think it was made with inspiration from like the chocolate salami, Italian chocolate salami. It's very similar, but simpler. So, it doesn't have real chocolate. It has cocoa powder. It used to have like the original recipe had margarine, of course, no butter. But I'm doing here. That's the recipe. I'm doing the actual recipe, the original recipe. I only switched to butter from the margarine. I'm using butter instead. And it's so popular. I mean, I don't know if you know, but many Israelis, after they serve in the army for 2 or 3 years, depending on what you do, if you're a boy or a girl, at the age 20 or 21, to relax after the stressful time, people go and travel the world, and wherever they travel, whether it's in India and Thailand and South America, wherever there are Israelis, you will always find signs in Hebrew saying, "We sell falafel and we sell chocolate balls," and because that's how much people love it. Okay, so it's almost embarrassing to show you how to make this, but it's fine. We start with oopsie. We start with these what we call tea biscuits or tea biscuits cookies. This type you can buy at most chain supermarkets in the US in the kosher aisle, but you can also buy the French Petit Beurre that's available at many chain supermarkets, or just get butter cookies. What are they called? Shortbread cookies. Yeah, and you put them in a bag. You don't want to crush them in a food processor or something like that, because you want to have some chunks. You don't want it to be completely crushed. You want some big crumbs in there. And okay, as the book would say, now you call your mother for help, or an adult to help you do that. But this is fun. So
you don't give this to your. I would give this job to my kids.
Yeah, they were very careful in that book. Everything that seemed dangerous went immediately to the adult in the house. Okay, so we take that. We just passed the most complicated part of this dish. You put it in a bowl, and then, okay, that was elegant. Okay, now we add sugar and cocoa powder, Valrhona cocoa powder, which definitely was not in the original recipe. And wait, I'm sorry. Just a second. And I'm going to mix it all together. Okay, now I'll add some milk. Vanilla extract. Okay, or maybe not. Okay. Thank you. And butter. It's not a healthy dish. Okay, I think we're not going to use the butter. Vanilla. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Actually,
we're not talking about healthy food tonight. We're talking about comfort food.
Exactly. Okay, and I can tell you that I'm going to eat all of it once the camera is off.
The original recipe calls for margarine, right?
Yes, yeah, of course.
So somebody asked if you could use a plant-based margarine instead. So the answer is of course, right?
Yes, yeah, of course. I mean, you can very easily be farm.
I really like the vegan
if
butter.
the cookies are, yeah. Excuse me?
You have the, I'm going to share the recipe again here in the chat. That's, so you can find Vered's recipe there.
Okay, it's really better to do it with your hand, but actually this came out really well, even like that. Now it's gonna be better after a day in the fridge, after we're done. But once again, I mean, I'm not going to wait. I need discomfort. So I'm gonna use it today. Okay, so now first I'm gonna make little balls, or you can call them truffles if you want to be more elegant. Let's try. I didn't do it for a long time, so I don't remember if this can work with at least for portions. Okay, that doesn't really work. So let's use 2 teaspoons just for portions. Then I'm going to later roll them. Okay, I'm sorry, I have gloves here and I'm gonna use them again. Sorry about that. Okay. Okay, and now you roll the mixture to small balls. And then I have here shredded coconut, and I'm going to roll it inside. And that's the finished product. You can also roll it in like sprinkles.
Sprinkles, yeah, that's what I was gonna
Yes,
ask.
yeah. But this is tastier. And also, another thing you can try to cover them with is the same coconut, but if you toast it a little bit in the oven until it's kind of golden brown, that's so good. Again, not the original recipe, but that's very tasty.
Could you also do like powdered sugar or cocoa powder just on the outside? No.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think it will be like, again, like the same question with the wine. Like this dish, it's childish and it's sweet and silly almost. I mean, it's like it's not. It tastes very childish. I don't think bitter
that's too
powdered.
sophisticated, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
So shredded coconut, like sweetened shredded coconut, or
It
sprinkled?
doesn't need to. Yeah, it doesn't need to be sweetened. Even the regular
Okay, so it could
ones
be
is sweet
unsweetened
enough.
coconut.
Yes, yeah, definitely. And that's basically it. So now you need to leave it in the fridge if you can for the night, and then what will happen then is that the cookies will get softened from the milk, from the butter, and the texture will be just perfect by the morning. So you can have it for dessert after you eat the Hamin macaroni for breakfast. So, which is exactly what I'm going to do.
That sounds perfect.
Yes. So, any questions about this one?
Now's your chance, guys. You had 17,000 questions about the Hamin macaroni, so I expect at least a few more questions about the chocolate balls.
I mean, it's so simple. I mean, what can you even ask? I just say that I made it before with carob powder instead, and it was so good. So you can basically
Oh,
play
I'm
with
sorry.
that.
I did miss
Yeah.
one question from Diana. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Instead of milk, can you use parve whipping cream to make it parve? Did you put milk in that? I missed that.
Yes, yeah, a little bit. You can use any of the. I don't know if I would use cream, but it's probably fine. But you can use, you can use coconut milk or
Almond milk.
almond milk. Yeah,
Milk.
any of the vegan, dairy-free powdered milks will be fine. Definitely. The question is more about the finding the good enough margarine, plant-based margarine to do it. The milk, yeah, you can use any type.
Can the chocolate balls be frozen, and how long can be they kept in the fridge for?
In the fridge, I think they will last for a week or something like that. I never try to freeze them. I don't see why not. I mean, it should be fine. Because it should be fine. Why not? I usually eat them so fast that these questions do not apply.
I've only made this recipe like once or twice, years and years ago. But watching you make it, I feel like my kids would really enjoy this. I think
for sure.
Yeah.
It's so easy for kids to make, so it's perfect in that sense. But they're really, there's so many cakes, like the tea biscuit cookies, cheesecake that Israeli make, like many cakes that are the palate is very childish, and they're actually so good.
Can you share the name of the cookbook again? I think a couple people missed it.
Wait. They actually had another version, like, I don't know, maybe 10 or 20 years ago. Yeladim Mevashlim, kids are cooking, kids cooking. It's by Ruth Sirkis, who was like the first diva of Israeli cooking. She wrote the most famous cookbooks that everyone was using in the 70s. Yes, I mean, I'm so grateful for this book. It was the first book I used for cooking. I still love, the memories that I have from it are really nice, and I appreciate like how good the recipes were. By the way, one of the recipes there is for Moses in the basket. Does anyone know what that is?
Pigs in a blanket.
Yes. Oh wait, like it wasn't a question for you, but of course you had to jump, and yes, but yeah, sure. But you are right. I mean, that's how it's called in Hebrew. So,
I thought the question was just to me.
Yes, I'm sorry, I'm joking.
It's my own personal Israeli food quiz. What else you gonna want to quiz me on tonight?
No, that's it. So yeah.
Vered, I don't know if there's anything else that you want to share about this moment with everyone here, but I want to thank you for sharing some of your time tonight to make these two very comforting, very classic Israeli dishes. The recipes were in the email that you all received, and will also get sent out in a follow-up email along with link for Vered's 6-course class, which again, I would highly, highly recommend if you enjoyed her teaching here tonight. The course is really so beautiful and has so much to offer. I'm just trying to get the link to share. And I had this very annoying window pop up. Go away.
I do want to thank you for distracting me from the news for a couple of hours. And I don't know, just please fight in any way you can to release the hostages. I mean, I think that's the one thing that's the most urgent that we can actually do with, public pressure. I don't think there's any need to pressure Biden and this government and the Americans, because I think everyone feels it. But, Israelis feel that they're not being understood, and I'm sure they are very well understood in this crowd. And just go hug an Israeli, as I heard someone say, and pray for the hostages. So yeah.
Thank you, Vered. I think we are all feeling in solidarity and with our Israeli family. We are all together. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for being with us tonight, and look out for a follow-up email. And we have a really, really robust lineup of some Hanukkah classes, so stay tuned for some really wonderful Hanukkah opportunities for us to gather together and learn together. So Laila Tov, thank you so much. Vered, thank you so
Laila
much.
Tov.
Nathan, thank you. Snoopy, thank you.
I'll tell them. Laila Tov, thank you.